Good morning. I'm just about to leave for work, and these are the last set of chicks that we hatched. You've got the three bigger ones at the back there, which are Brahmas, and then the Pekin at the front. And in here, we've had our next lot of eggs incubating. And these are our first two of the meat chicks out of their eggs. So we'll cover them back up so they're not stressed and wasting their energy on hiding. We've got a second batch of eggs in there, which have been in there for a week and a half, and a few more which are due to hatch either today or tomorrow. So we'll leave those guys to it, and I'm off to work. As you guys know, I've struggled to find time with the sun still up to do much filming for you because I've been getting home a little bit later than I would have liked. It's been a little bit wetter than I would have liked, and there just hasn't been enough hours in the day recently. So I'm going to fill you in on a few bits and bobs just during the day today and get you all up to speed. So here I am at work, and today we're carrying on this build. If you've been following all of my videos, you'll know a little bit about this build already. I'm documenting and detailing exactly how we're doing it because the method of construction, or most of the method of construction here, is the one that I consider to be the best method of construction if you're building any permanent outbuilding. Now, this one is actually going to be temporary housing for someone. So we're doing some things here that are slightly over-spec'd, slightly more than you would do if you were just building a shed or a workshop or what have you. But I will be explaining in those series of videos exactly which elements we're using here that you might want to miss out or that you might want to alter if you're doing a different type of building. Part 2 of that series will be up by the time you see this, or will follow the following day, I would guess. So obviously I'm back home now, and I'm in the wood, the pig wood. I resolved to spend a little bit more time in here and actually walk through it more frequently, because as you'll remember a little while ago, I felt like I just didn't know it very well. I didn't know it well enough, and I kind of left it to the pigs, and I just think they need a bit of help with the custodianship. And when I recently came through here, I found, and I didn't even know it was here, and this is just a great example of why I needed to do it. I found right in the middle of our wood, and of course whenever I've walked through here I've had my eyes down, I've not even noticed it, a giant walnut tree. We've got one on the property, which I love, but look, the pigs must be keeping the squirrels away from this portion of the wood, so we've actually got a walnut tree which is dropping ripe walnuts for me to harvest, and I can't believe the pigs haven't got there first. But there you go, they're obviously not overly keen on this bit of the wood. Anyway, so I've come into the middle to call them because I'm feeding them somewhere slightly different than usual today, just because I had some other bits and bobs to give them, including a hen that passed through old age. So I just wanted to come in and grab them, and they'll obviously follow me, knowing that food is what I'm normally here for. So I just wanted to bring them down to where their food is, and then I shall leave them be. So that's them now feeding, and I'm gonna grab up some of these walnuts and then head back out of the wood the way I came in. I've already gone and collected the eggs today from our main laying flocks. Anyway, I'm gonna go and collect some from my wife's Brahmas shortly after I've collected up some of these walnuts. Look at them, just here. You know, I found one odd one in the wood about 4 days ago, and I looked up and it wasn't here, it was a bit further away, and I couldn't see where it had come from. I didn't know if a squirrel had dropped it or how it had got here. So not only is this mystery solved, it's just thrilling. I'm really happy. And there's plenty more up there that are yet to fall. I don't know how well you'll be able to see them on the film there, probably not particularly well, but I can see quite a few. So that's really excited me. Excellent. So unless there's something I don't know about walnuts, then maybe my pig's taste in walnuts just differs a lot from mine, and they prefer the acorns. But anyway, either way, I'm happy, I'm thrilled. So I've literally stuffed all my pockets, they're all bulging now, literally with walnuts, and I have a significant number of pockets. So yeah, what a nice little find that I wasn't expecting. A nice little treat, but also another sign that you know, things are generally happy here in the wood. The pigs are obviously, like I say, unless there's something I don't know about walnuts, the pigs are obviously satiated. They're clearly getting enough of the food and are feeling hungry enough that they're, you know, willing and able to basically ignore walnuts, which you know, is just another good sign that they're happy and healthy and well fed. So that's brilliant news. On that subject, one of the fruit and vegetable shops that I frequent for waste has actually opened a second shop. And the lady that runs it and myself have developed a really good relationship. You know, we're on really good terms, and we've got lots of things in the pipeline that we might be working together on. More on that at a later date, I think. But the reason I'm mentioning that is because she's opened a second fruit and veg shop. So it means that I'm going to have access to a lot more fruit and veg. Now, this time last year, that would have been a problem, and it was a problem. So this time last year, because our system then was to rear weaners and then slaughter them, and then we would effectively have the wood empty through the winter, I had a real problem, because what I didn't want to do is stop collecting the sources I had of free food. And I didn't want to do that for two reasons. One, because I didn't want to lose that source when the spring came again, and two, because I didn't want to obviously let the people down who were relying on me to clear their waste. So what I did last year is I basically just composted it all, which raised a whole nother set of problems. Very briefly, you know, it was an issue with vermin, and I had to make sure that whenever I added this stuff to the compost pile, that I topped it off with some used bedding or straw or something to keep the vermin at bay. Anyway, it's great news, because, you know, we're also looking at increasing our stock by introducing the boars and having more pigs here, and having pigs here all year round. So that's, look at my hair. My hair is shocking, I'm aware. I've been wearing a hat all day, so you've got to live with it, I guess. So with our increased stocking levels, having the increased feed is obviously welcome. So it's going to work out great. I've also arranged for our male goat. Our male goat is going to be arriving very, very soon. So I'll make sure I film his arrival for you guys. Arrival day is always fun when the goats all suss each other out. But he is in the pipeline, and I'm hoping he's going to be with us within the next week. Could be as early as tomorrow, but within the next 7 days. So very exciting times. We've got our boars lined up, and again, they won't be too far away. We're waiting for the weather to drop so that we can cull one of our pigs. And as you know, we're waiting for the weather to drop so that this outside here can act as our fridge for the processing. And also we've got 10 new hens coming next week as well to go into these flocks. So some of these girls are quite old. Now, they are predominantly ex-battery hens. Now, when I say that term, there's no such thing as battery hens anymore in this country. Battery farming was a method of farming where the birds were caged in such small cages that they couldn't even spread their wings, let alone walk around. That system's outlawed now. So we still refer to them as battery hens, but they're not farmed in that method anymore, but they're still farmed really, really intensively. And as a result, they've had a really hard life before they get here. So all of these girls will stay here regardless of productivity. They will have a retirement until they die of old age or sickness, or heaven forbid the fox gets them. Some of these girls here are maybe 6 years old, which doesn't sound very old, but for a battery hen it is. When we've got them, they're maybe 2 years old, and we've had them for 3 or 4 years. So hello, lovely. So some of them are, nearing natural retirement from life. So what happens then is the energy that's in their bodies gets recycled. You can't eat my walnuts. By being fed to the pigs. I'll let you have one if you can get it. You want to eat the outsides. No, not as nice as you thought. Anyway, what I'm getting at is the numbers here have been slowly declining. We had another dead bird today when I got home from work, which I've dealt with. And it's just time that we restocked a little bit and just added a few more. So we're picking up another 10 hens next week, which is just going to be mixed in with these girls. So they'll be coming just to add to these girls and just to keep the numbers up, really. We're not talking about increasing our numbers. It's just to replace losses that we've had probably this year. So I'll ask my wife now, actually. She's probably got a better idea, but my guess would be that we've probably lost 10 in the last 9 months or so, probably this year, but we'll see. Yeah, so my wife guessed 10, so that's good, since Christmas. I've got 10 more coming. I've got 10 more coming next week. So for those of you wondering who aren't familiar and thinking, right, doesn't look like a walnut, that's the outer shell, and you just peel it away. And that's the walnut inside. That's another one I've peeled away. And if you do it like that, you get this staining on your hands, which doesn't come off. I don't care, it doesn't bother me. And then obviously you dry them out, and then you end up with, let me see if I can find some that we've still got dried from last year. End up with those little beauties back there. So this will dry up and become a walnut, just like the ones you would see in the shops. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to place all these with the husks, with the green and everything, so on a little tray, put them in the airing cupboard and let them dry out. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. What a nice treat. What an excellent little find that I wasn't expecting. That's about it for today, guys. Stay tuned, because I will be including you in all of our animal stuff that's coming up, and I will speak to you soon. Look, Jackie.
Yes, I see. Yes, Lara?
Not a whole one. The nut's for me.